earlier that some Asian acts actually won. Now, for us to understand, before a lot of the people that were a lot of the questions were actually centered on whether or not it's even relevant. Like, is it even fair that the people who won actually won, right? Because for a lot of people, this should have been swept by any Asian award should have been swept by Lisa or a BTS member or Jungkook, Jimin, V. So because they have made the most impact. Okay, so that is the question. Now, for us to understand VMA, we need to understand how it started. It actually and what they are there for. So remember that they became popular because of great pop moments. In 1984, which I believe is the very first VMA, Madonna actually agreed to perform. She opened with Like a Virgin. Another would be Michael Jackson's legendary performance. Um, so if you can watch this in full, they remastered it, they uploaded it, and it was a great performance. So, and then there are other pop culture events that happen. So they really are there to celebrate pop culture. It's not really about critical acclaim or anything like that. It was about pop culture. And for a really long time, they had a good run. They don't really disclose how they choose the nominees and the winners, because I believe it's not really material to what they're trying to do. Again, what they're trying to do is just celebrate pop culture, not necessarily celebrate critical acclaim. They're not trying to encourage critical advancement of the arts. They just want to grow pop culture. So in 2024, I think the very first time they had a K-pop category was 2021, which was won by BTS. 2022, Lisa won. 2023, Jungkook won, and 2024, Jimin won. Best push, so new artist, was Lesser of Him actually won. Best collaboration, this is the first time that an Asian quote unquote won this. It's Lisa and Rosalia, their collaboration. And then the best Asia act is Bini. They are a girl group from the Philippines. So let's be frank, this is where majority of the criticisms were actually directed, because obviously because they are not yet as well known as other, definitely not as well known as Lisa. A lot of people are asking, like, why would they be the best Asia act when they aren't even as popular as Lisa or something like that. Okay, I think asking how they won is actually useless at this stage, because it will never be disclosed. They will never disclose how they choose the nominees, and they are not going to disclose how they chose the winner. How they choose the winner. Why? Because it's immaterial with what they're trying to do. They're not trying to recognize critical acclaim. They're not trying to recognize the advancement of arts. They're just celebrating pop culture. That's what they want to do. So if you are an artist who's topping billboards, selling stadiums, a VMA nod is nice, but it's not as important. It's good, it's nice because it is pop culture. So awards like this for BTS in 2021, that's a great thing. When Jungkook won in 2023, that's a great thing. The win for Jimin, because he essentially is a 1-year-old solo artist, that's great. But they already are topping billboards, so it is not as important to them as it is for other people. So, for a new act like Benny from the Philippines, a new girl group, that is a big deal. Can we please not rain on their parade? This is a big deal for them. It is not for armies, because why do we need them when we've already won Artist of the Year award in AMA? Why would Jimin already top Billboard? He's already still on freaking Billboard for 16 weeks for a song that he never even promoted. Jungkook is still on Billboard for songs that are a year old. He's got 3 songs that have crossed 1 billion Spotify streams. Does he need a VMA? He doesn't need this anymore. He absolutely doesn't need this. Lisa doesn't also he she doesn't need it either. She's a big star already. But Binny is just starting. Can we just encourage them? This is a big deal for them as it was to many of our favorites when they were new. Let us not rain on their parade. Okay? Their victory here does not mean anybody else's defeat. So please, let's be kind to these girls. And it's not just because they are from the Philippines where I'm from. It's just for all the new acts out there. Let's not rain on their parade. If they win something, let's not think of that as a award that was stolen from BTS. It's just the comparison is so crazy. They're from different leagues. Let's just leave these girls alone and just celebrate with them. So again, it goes back into kindness, and just be practical. Why why exert energy in getting angry over something like this when we have bigger fish to fry? We have bigger battles to fight. We've got we need to keep Jimin's album in Billboard Hot 100. We need to get Billboard 200 number one for Jin. We need to prepare for J Hope's single album and his world tour if we're picking him up correctly, and we need to stream for V's Christmas song with Bing Crosby. So many things to do, so many. Let's not rain on their parade. Let's just congratulate them. These are new girls. They've been around for 6 years actually as a group, but they're just starting to sort of pick up. Let's wish them well. I don't know if you've seen this performance. I'm not gonna play it long, but okay. So this is, did you hear it? Did you hear a part of it? So this group is actually Butter. Yeah. So the song is Butter, and this is a reality show, a reality talent show, and they're vying for a spot in a group that is going to debut. And the song that was assigned to them was Butter. And it was a bad performance. It was an objectively bad performance. Okay, I'll put it that way. But the sad thing is that there was somebody who started a hit tweet on them. I'm not going to name the person, and I'm not going to show the tweet because I also don't want people to look for that tweet or that person on Twitter and start hating. I don't want that to happen. But the the person who actually the account the account who started the hit tweet claims to be an army. And the gist of the Twitter post, this is not the exact Twitter post because, as I've said, I don't want people to be searching for the exact tweet. You'll find it. So this is the gist of the tweet, that they sang and performed, they meaning the trainees, they sang and performed Butter terribly, which goes to prove how good BTS is in singing and in dancing live. So yes, it's a survival show. So, number one, I can't believe that you're comparing BTS to trainees. And I'm not saying that the trainees are not talented enough or whatever, but BTS has 12 years of experience of performance. They have filled up stadiums after stadiums. They've won the Best Artist Award in AMA, and you're going to compare them to a group, to a set of men or boys that are just starting to train. I think that's pretty insulting, right? So it is it's just unfair for those that are being compared to the boys in the survival show, and very unfair for BTS. The second thing is that how do you think BTS is going to react if they saw that performance? Are they going to insult the boys the way that you did? Most likely not. I'm going to say 110% they won't. They're not going to insult them. They're not going to laugh at them. They are 100% going to try and help the boys improve. They're going to give constructive criticism. They're going to be very, very kind, but they will also be honest, but never mean. I hear this a lot when you call people out on how mean they are. BTS is kind, but I'm not. Or BTS is nice, but I'm not. Or BTS can forgive but I can't. When those things, when anybody say that thing, don't respond, don't engage. Because if you have a fundamental difference in values and in attitude, you will never meet halfway. There is no way you can convince them, there's no way you can enlighten them, because they are obviously rejecting the thing that they know to be right, because they've already acknowledged that you're saying the right thing, that you're saying to be kind, that you're suggesting that they be kind, and they're rejecting it. And the moment they reject that, there is no bottom to what they're going to do. So when somebody says anything like that, oh, BTS can forgive, but I cannot. BTS is kind, but I'm not. And so that means that I don't care. I'm just going to be mean. Walk away. It's not worth your time. So um, there is a huge difference between hate and constructive criticism. We can constructively criticize, which I think is necessary if we want to improve. We want to improve, or we want others to improve or contribute to the improvement of anything. Constructive criticism is necessary. But there is a big difference between that and hate. And we can start by wanting to help. If you see something and you know that there's something that may be improved, your first instinct should be, okay, I need to help, right? I need to help. So, how can I say what specifically are the things I can say that can help them improve? Um, it would also help if you put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, how do you want others to talk to you so that you can improve? How do you want others to talk to you so that you can absorb what they are saying, take it, and actually work on it and do it that way? The thing is that you need to remember constructive criticism. So stop yourself before saying anything and ask yourself, that do whatever it is that I'm going to say, does it have actionable insight? Meaning, can I say something that they can actually do something about? Can they actually solve the problem that I'm going to present? If there is no solution to what you're going to say, to the problem that you're going to present, that's not constructive. A constructive criticism always has a solution. Um, okay, so what is the problem? That is a question that you need to do. Um, and what is the solution? I'm just getting, because someone is actually looking for me on the on the chat. Okay, so you can see me, right? You can see me. Yes. Okay. All right. um so going back, so what is the problem and what is the solution? That should be the question that you ask yourself, so that you can be properly guided on what you're going to say. So tip number first step is to look for the positive feedback first before you criticize somebody, even if it is a constructive one. Ask yourself, what is the good thing in this entire thing, and focus on that first, because it trains your mind to be objective. If you look for the good things first, it's going to train you to be objective. If you go down the rabbit hole of being negative, you're not going to come out of it. So first, look for something positive. So if I watch that performance, I'm sure some of you already watched it. This will be my positive feedback. Number one, if you look at the entire performance from the beginning, you will see that they are exhausted, which is natural in any kind of a reality show when it is a survival show. Because the schedule is tight, they actually are unable to go home. They're practicing 12, 16 hours a day. They are going to be exhausted, but you can see that they try to make up for that exhaustion by adding more force at the end of their movement. Try to observe yourself when you're tired and you're trying to do something. You have that crash, and then when you're being aware that you're crashing, you try to jerk back into your energy back so that you can finish the task that you're trying to do. That's what they were doing the entire performance. They would like crash, and then when they feel themselves crashing, they try to jerk themselves back into what they were doing. So it only proves that they actually have enough discipline to try and finish what it is that they started. That's a good sign. Second, the guy wearing yellow was actually the one who performed the best. He was the most stable in terms of vocal, and also was the one that was on point when it comes to singing. So he wasn't that bad at all. The rapper had a natural flow. It is never easy to copy someone's flow when you're a rapper, because that's so unique and so ingrained in the person that's rapping. So the mere fact that he was able to have any amount of flow is actually a good sign. Was he able to copy Suga? No, I don't think anybody can copy Suga. So the mere fact that you can actually hear some kind of flow, that's already a good sign. The opening wasn't bad at all. The first three people who sang, it just progressively became unstable because they were really, really tired. Okay, so this is what sounds like versus what a constructive criticism sounds like. They sound horrible. So if you say somebody is horrible, like, okay, so what now? What can they do to not be horrible? However, if you say they sing through their throat, for all the singers out there, you know that this is not the right way of singing. They sing through their throat, and that is why they become very, very stable when they are dancing. So they have to be given voice lessons so that they can sing through their tummy, right? So that they can sing properly and they become more stable. Hey, this is not how you do Jimin, J Hope, and Jungkook's part. But constructive criticism would say BTS's routines are actually complicated, even though it looks easy, because it often combines complicated footwork with position changes and upper body movement. So they can certainly dance, but routines like this actually need time to master. They should be given the chance to rehearse more. So that's actionable, because you're saying if they can rehearse more, then they can master the footwork with the position changes with the upper body movement. Hey, the worst part is that they think they ate. Constructive criticism would go something like, it's very good that they tried to look their very best, that they are actually confident, to look confident at what they do. That is a good start. That means they have stage presence, which is actually sometimes more important than actual skill. I hope that they get proper training so that they can really back it up. So you don't need to insult anybody to elevate your favorite. So please, armies, let's stop doing that, especially if they are actually trying to cover a BTS song. Always remember, if we claim that BTS actually affect us, the BTS members affect us for the better, then we need to show that through our actions. And if we're doing things like this, insulting people, putting hit tweet on people that are trying to cover or was simply given the assignment to sing this song, it doesn't look good on us. It doesn't look good on BTS. The constant comparison is what I dislike most about K-pop. Anyone trying to cover BTS, I would cheer and cheer and cheer. This specific survival show, I heard, has actually already been criticized very much because there is an apparent abuse in like they are making them rehearse like 18 hours straight with no rest. So a lot of fans are actually expressing their disgust over the show, and so knowing that should change how you look at the performances, because how can a group of trainees sing such a difficult song and not be given enough time to rehearse and rest, right? So I hope that this actually becomes, this is where evil feed. This is what they eat. They like people that are mean, and they will use people like this to actually tear the fandom apart and tear BTS apart. Because if BTS has been big on their message, and we've always been very proud about their message of love, love yourself, love others, be considerate, be respectful, and then this is how we treat others, it's not a good reflection of BTS's message. So I hope we keep that in mind whenever we see and want to react on things like this. I just wish people would stop putting others down. Um, yeah, let's just don't attack these people as well. I'm happy actually that there are some people under this thread. There's several threads already that are just bashing these boys. And in each thread that I saw some people were actually fighting for the defending the boys. And I'm happy that I see people like that. It only means that there are some people that are aware enough of how you should actually treat others. But so that's good enough. Let's not add to that. And if we're going to call them out, for example, you really want to call out that person, be kind even as you call them out. Like, again, revert to constructive criticism instead of hating the person who posted. I sincerely think that the bulk of army is not online all the time. Yeah, that should not be allowed. It's sabotaging the trainees. I wouldn't even dream to try to do a BTS song. More power to those kids for even giving it a try. Yeah, I mean, if you ever tweet or if you ever post anything on social media, just encourage them. I mean, even if they don't see it, maybe they talk to their parents or their cousins or their friends, brothers, sisters who might be able to communicate that they are being supported, and it could lift their spirits up. So if you can just support them, like, hey, good try. It's a difficult song. And I'm sure that, something like that. I'm sure that if you have enough rest and if you have enough time to rehearse the song, you'll be good because I can see your potential. Or even if it's something like, hey, we're behind you, work hard, and I hope you get to your dreams. Just something as simple as that. If there is enough of that, maybe if they talk to their parents, as I've said, parents, relatives, friends, maybe they can communicate that they see some messages of support.